Jay, we want to talk Mississippi State, but little birdie tells me you guys got a big game coming up tonight.
Yeah, we do. We got some good ball clubs playing down here at Jackson Prep tonight. Got the first game of a 3-game series, the state championship with us and MRA. And I tell you, man, it's a testament to baseball, the way it's been played right now in Mississippi. I counted them up. I think there's 10 or 11 Division I commits that's going to be in this game tonight.
Wow.
That's crazy. I mean, it really is.
And, Jay, the thing is, you got that story playing out all over the state of Mississippi. I live in Oxford. Oxford and Tupelo played, and Tupelo won both games. They got one kid that's committed to Ole Miss, another kid that's committed to Mississippi State. That's happening over and over and over in the Pine Belt. It's happening on the coast. It's happening in the Jackson area. The high school baseball in this state is unbelievable.
It really is, man. It's I think there's a lot of things that's going into play of that. I think one of the coaches is really good, and but I think more than anything is our college baseball teams. I think they see how good our college, all three of them, and JSU's having a great year. They just see how good that is, and it just kind of filters down to the high school level. And it's good right now, man. It really is as good as I think I've ever seen it.
All right, I did not intend to go down this road, but since we're talking high school baseball, let's take it a step below that. Travel ball at the youth level. It's happening at 6 years old. It's happening at 7 years old, certainly 8, 9, 10 years old. I know there's a lot of good in it, but there also can be some danger in it as well. Give me your opinion on travel baseball with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
I think it's, to me, once you hit about 10, or really about 11, 12, I think that's when it gets really important. It is what it is, man. Obviously, the more you play, Richard, the better you're going to get. But it's a double-edged sword. Also, you're dealing with kids with open growth plates, kids that's not finished growing, and they're a lot more susceptible for injury and broken growth plates and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, it won't show up then. It shows up, when they're 15 and 16, and that's when they start having, Tommy John and that kind of stuff. So I think the world we live in now, if you want to play at a high level, I think you have to do it, but you got to do it smart. I mean, summer's great. Have some downtime. Find a season that you can, do something different, and just allow your body to recover a little bit.
This Mississippi State team, I asked Kate a second ago, I kind of laid out the scenario, but the ultimate question was, how good are they? I'll ask you the same thing. How good are they?
Well, I mean, if you look at their lineup, if you look at their averages, I mean, really, there's only a few guys that you really are scared of, I guess you could say. Tanner Allen may be the best player in the country. Rowdy's on fire. Other than, once you get past that, Cameron's playing. It's a lot of guys just kind of doing what they have to do. And I think they've got a chance to be really good. The thing that really you've seen the last, for a while really with that group is, one, they seem to play their best toward the end of the year. And two, they just have this kind of relentless attitude and competitiveness that just kind of follows that program. And this group's bought into it again. And I tell you one thing I was concerned about after last year, because, Jake had kind of been the heart and soul of that group. And when he left, my concern was, well, who's going to fill that? Because leadership's a real deal, especially in college sports. And I think you've seen Tanner kind of embrace that over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I think that's had a little bit to do, too, with this group kind of gelling and playing pretty well.
Jay, you played ball at a bunch of different levels. High school level, successful there. College level, successful there. I mean, good grief, you got a World Series ring. So people throw out, team leadership all the time. But I'm not sure we really know what that always means. So when you're talking about within the confines of a baseball locker room and you say this is the guy that players gravitate to, what is that? And is it always the same?
No, it's not. And I'm just going to use Jake as an example again because I've been close to that program for a while as far as being in the radio booth. But Jake was more of Jake would get in the face. You could see him hollering at guys running off the field. He was a real vocal leader and an on-the-field guy. Just from watching it this year, I think the thing that Tanner's done that's been so impressive is one, the way he approaches the game and the way he plays. And I think the rest of the team has started gravitating to that. I mean, that dude he's really one of the smartest baseball guys I've seen on the field. I mean, he's just instinctively, he's got it. And I think some of the other guys have started picking up on that. That's how hard he plays. So there's different type of leaders. And I think that's what Tanner's kind of done these last, 3 or 4 weeks that the kids have kind of gravitated to and really has kind of picked the whole group up.
Can a pitcher be a leader, or does it have to be a position player that's in the lineup every day?
That's a good question. I've seen teams where pitchers are leaders. I think they definitely can. I think it's about how you approach it. I think it's tougher, though, especially our starter, to be that guy, if that makes sense. Because they're only out there, pro ball once every 5 days. College, I think, is a little different because you're playing these 3-game series and you're so involved in one of the games. But I think most of the time, a lot of leaders usually are position guys just because they're an everyday out there guy.
Jay Powell visiting with us, Farm Bureau phone line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. He's the color analyst on the Mississippi State Radio Network. Going to help coach a team trying to win a state championship tonight, assistant coach at Jackson Prep as well. All right, so we got the Gunnar Hoagland news officially yesterday. Partially torn UCL, Tommy John surgery coming up. And we got an interesting text, Jay, yesterday during the show. And the question was, is it possible that these guys are not throwing enough? Because everybody always goes to the Tommy John UCL, they're throwing too much, they're throwing too many pitches, etc. But is it possible that their arms are not conditioned the way, even when you were playing, guys were throwing more, they were throwing more often, they were going deeper in games?
I have to defer that to the guys that make a whole lot of money operating on those guys and rehabbing them, that kind of stuff. I know Dr. Andrews has always told me that it's an overuse injury. And that was what it was always told to me. Now, I do think it's just different. The game's different now. Velocity has become king. And if you're not bumping, we got 2 guys tonight in high school that'll be 90 to 96 with a radar gun. So if you don't have that, you're not, you know what I'm saying? You got to separate yourself with velo. And so many guys are putting so much more emphasis on throwing harder at a younger age. And I think that's where a lot of our injuries are coming in. And it's really nobody's fault. It's just kind of the evolution of our game. But that being said, I think that's launch angle has taken hold of pro ball. So strikeouts are way up. Pitchers want to get harder, above barrels, higher in the strike zone. The elevated fastball is taken off because of launch angle. So all that, kind of feeds off itself. And now you've got kids throwing harder, wanting to throw harder, training to throw harder at a younger age. And I think it just, it's the nature of the beast, so to speak. There's only so many bullets and so many, times you can stress that ligament or those tendons before it's going to go.
Jay, would there be a place in Major League Baseball today for Greg Maddox?
I think so. I mean, people say that, and ask me that. And I think at the end of the day, if you get guys out, I think there'll be a place for you. I think he would be better today, honestly, than he would have been in my day. Because you look at the way guys approach hitting, I mean, what Greg did as a pitcher, he beat them alive. I mean, because changing speed, changing locations, changing eyesight, I mean, not only that, but changing speeds off fastball. I really think he would be as effective and maybe a little bit more today than he was, back in his prime, just because of the way hitters approach it. Now, that being said, if he couldn't throw 97 above the belt, I don't know if anybody would pitch him. But, from the way they approach it, man, I really think he would be pretty effective.
Greg Maddox is the name that always gets brought up in that piece of the conversation. Who's another guy that falls into that category that doesn't get mentioned as much?
Well, I mean, you look at a lot of those guys that I played with. Jamie Moyer was another one. Shane Reynolds was a pitcher we had with Houston. I mean, he was a 88 to 92 split fingers breaking ball guy. Tom Glavine is another one. These guys were not overpowering guys, and there's guys like that in pro ball now. But I just think so much more emphasis is put on velocity, and it's I have friends in pro ball now, and I was actually texting with two of them last night, and there's just nobody's teaching. It's all about computers. It's all about spitting out numbers. It's not about really learning to pitch, and that's the part that we're starting to lose in the game. And it's just because, one, I think a lot of these young guys, they don't know how to teach that. They don't know how to read swings. They don't know how to teach, foul balls. They don't know how to teach how, what did it take? When he took that pitch, what did it look like? They don't know how to teach that. So all they know
Jay,
to teach is
super insight. Can't thank you enough for your time. Good luck tonight. Talk to